Hey, it's me, Keto Granny. I am going to talk a little bit about the protein sparing modified fast today. Seems like a lot of people don't know exactly what this diet is, what it involves, or really anything about it. So, um, someone asked me, they said, I don't know what the protein sparing modified fast is. And I want to give some information, or at least my perspective of what I feel it is, and then what I have learned from the research that I have done. And when I say the research, I mean just looking up, Googling it, reading about it, going and watching videos and looking and see other people's perspective as to how they do the protein sparing modified fast and see how, it's going to play into my lifestyle, to my diet, and if it's something that's going to be beneficial for me. Now, I tried the protein sparing modified fast for several weeks, and I had really good results. I got my scale moving again in the right direction. And so I know it's something that does work. And for me, it worked really well because I did not feel hungry while I was doing the protein sparing modified fasting. On protein sparing modified fasting, I found that I was eating a lot of meat. Meat was the easiest way for me to get my protein in. And certain meats I ate seemed to be the most beneficial for me. I ate a lot of chicken, which chicken is loaded with protein, and I ate sirloin steak, tri-tip steak. Those are some really lean, good cuts of beef. And also, I ate 93% and 96% organic grass-fed ground beef. So these are some of the main meats that I ate on my protein sparing modified fasting days. Um, you want to have your body use its fat and its carbs mainly on that day. So that's why you want to keep the intake of your fat and your carbohydrates very low. But you can have like a few servings of vegetables. You can have dairy on this day. You can have, some of the other foods. A lot of people are under the impression that all you can eat on this day is meats. That's not so. You may want to put mainly meats in your menu on that day, especially if you're doing keto. I found that, like I said, the certain meats that I ate, those meats gave me really good protein value numbers, good percentages, and then I was able to add in like broccoli and cheese, or asparagus, or a small salad, or different things like that. I was still able to add those into my diet on those days. It's just that I ate them very, very sparingly. And then most of the time what I chose to eat was just a piece of meat, a meat patty, and then, add a little mustard to it because mustard is 0 calories. You want to, like I said, you want to really, really limit your fats and your carbohydrates on those days because you want your body um, to use those things. You don't want to put them into your body. You're just going to eat protein. You're going to be sparing your protein and your muscles. Is what this diet is all about, the protein sparing modified fast diet. And then there's a certain way that you should set the diet up if you're going to use the diet. This diet was mainly put together by physicians who had clients who needed to lose weight fast. And so in order for them to do that, they put together this type of diet, protein sparing modified fasting diet, in order for the people to be able to lose the weight fast and to also remain healthy and not lose muscle. That was one of the main reasons that this diet was put together. And they would be able to use their fat and use their carbohydrates in order to function, which meant that they would lose weight a lot faster. And it was conducted under the supervision of a physician. This is the best way to do the diet. But It is possible for you to do the diet, and you probably just want to do it 2 to 3 days a week is what I would suggest. And after you do 2 or 3 days of the protein sparing modified fasting, you must have a refeed day, because on those days you are going to have a low calorie intake, you're going to have a low fat, low carbohydrate intake. Your protein intake is going to be very good because that's what you're going to be concentrating on. So on your refeed day, you need to up your carbohydrate intake, your fat intake, and maybe even your protein intake and your calorie intake, because you want to replenish your body and get it ready for, if you're going to continue this type of regimen the next week, then you just want to get prepared and get ready for the following week by giving your body the nutrients and everything that it needs, because this is a nutrient deficient diet, because like I said, you won't be eating a lot of fats and carbohydrates. You're mainly going to be concentrating on protein. Now, when you're doing this diet, there are certain macros that you will need to follow and that you should follow when you're doing protein sparing modified fasting. It is different than intermittent fasting, so do know that. On the protein sparing, you're going to be eating, and you're going to be eating protein is what you want to concentrate on. Your protein intake is going to be high compared to what it was before, and your fat intake, you want to keep that down to below 30% if possible, and for sure under 50%. Your carbohydrate intake, you want to keep that down daily to 10% carbohydrates, total carbohydrates, or lower. And like I say, it's best if you keep your fat under 30% of your food intake. So those are the macros that you want to aim for. You want to eat 1 to 2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass. So you need to know your lean body mass in order to figure out how much protein that you should be eating. And it's okay to eat some low-calorie vegetables when you're doing protein sparing modified fasting. And if you need to, it's okay to take supplements. And you just want to make sure that you're taking the right supplements. If you need to be taking vitamin D or vitamin K, or, potassium, magnesium, whatever supplements you need, make sure that you are getting these. And also you want to add in lifting weights. You want to start lifting weights at least 2 to 3 times per week while you're doing your protein sparing modified fasting. This is best. Now on your off days, you can eat your regular keto is what I do, and then Sundays I use as my refeed day, because it's the day that I cook the most, or I have family over, or usually when we're planning some type of special occasion or special event, we usually like to do it on Sundays. And then when you're able to add in some cardio, cardio is also very good for you. Now back here in my room, I have all of my exercise equipment. I have an exercise bike, treadmill, I have my exercise ball, my weights, different size weights, and other little things that I can exercise with. So any type of exercise that you can get in, especially while you're doing your protein sparing modified fasting days, that's going to be very, very good for you, and it's going to be very beneficial. It's going to help you lose weight a lot faster, and like I said, it's going to be very beneficial for you. Now you're going to want to, if you're doing protein sparing modified fasting, add in at least 2 or maybe 3 days a week that you're doing the protein sparing modified fasting. And then also, if you are going to eat some type of vegetable on your protein sparing modified fasting date, make sure that it is a non-starchy vegetable. Some of the best vegetables that you could possibly eat on protein sparing modified fasting day, because it's low in calories and also very low in carbs, would be like broccoli or asparagus, or something to that nature, something that's very low and has good fiber in it. That's going to help you and everything. Now I have my notes that I'm using here also. Zucchini, salad greens, a little bit of spinach, something like that. But it's okay to have just a few low amount of vegetables when you are doing protein sparing modified fasting. Now you want to have lean products to eat. And if you're looking for lean meat, some of the leanest meats that you can eat are like loin meats, round steak, sirloin steak, tri-tip, medallions, T-bone steak, tenderloin, strip steak, top round roast. These are some of the 93% on up ground beef. These are some of the best protein foods that you can eat. And these are mostly meats that I'm talking about. There are also red meat birds that you can have, the goose, duck, ostrich. You can have chicken. And when you're doing chicken with for your protein sparing modified fasting, you want skinless chicken. Well, when you're doing your keto days, you want it opposite. You want to leave your skin on your chicken then. So you can have turkey. There are a lot of foods that you can eat on your protein sparing modified fasting days. A lot of people eat things like venison and bison and goat. Lean cuts of beef, pork, lamb. I like lamb chops. But these are all foods that you can have on your protein sparing modified fasting days. But you can have these same foods, on your keto days also. I like to try to eat the same foods. I try not to jump back and forth where if I can't even think of an example, but I did have an example earlier where if something is, say, not very good on my protein sparing modified fasting day, I'm not going to go add it in on the next day, which is a keto day, because that kind of defeats my purpose. For me, I will find something else familiar to that, or, that's going to fit in a whole lot better than that certain food. You can have, like I said, the non-starchy vegetables. You want like leafy greens, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, celery, some onions, tomatoes. You can have things like that. A lot of people like to stay away from dairy when they are doing protein sparing modified fasting, but you can have some dairy on your protein sparing modified fasting days. You want to have low fat dairy, like low fat cottage cheese. This is where the low fats come in, or cheese or skim milk or, almond milk, something like that. You can have that low fat dairy, eggs and of course your egg whites and different things like that. When you're eating your meat, you want to make sure that you remove your excess fat, drain off fats, that cook off your meats in the pan. This is going to help reduce your overall fat content, which is what you're concentrating on your protein sparing modified fasting days, is keeping your fat content and your carbohydrate content and your calories very, very low on these days. You can consume, like I said, poultry, meat, and some other animal proteins, tofu, and different things like that in moderation. That's where they say that maybe keto and different things are bad for you. And that's because they know that you're eating saturated fats. Now, saturated fats are bad, especially if you consume a whole lot of saturated fat. If you consume it excessively, it raises your cholesterol and also increases your risk of cardiovascular disease. So do eat red meats in moderate amounts. Don't just eat just red meats. Add in you some fish, add in some tuna, some salmon, and also some of the other good meats and everything that you can eat also. You want to avoid starchy vegetables like potatoes, corn, and peas, fruits such as apples and melons and berries, peaches, watermelon, and even berries, especially on your protein sparing modified fasting days. Now, if you want to, you can add those things in on your regular keto days, And then if I'm trying to lose weight, I will still keep those and eat those in moderation also. You want to always avoid and limit processed foods. Now, you can have processed foods or processed meats sometime, but don't make it a habit. Not a good idea. You want to avoid things like baked goods and potato chips, fast food, candy bars, the little convenient store pop in the oven sandwiches and different things like that. You want to avoid all of those things. You want to avoid the different sugars, honey, the table sugar, molasses, high fructose corn syrup. You want to avoid all of these things and sweeteners. You can have like monk fruit. Go for 0-calorie sweeteners, monk fruit, stevia, allulose, different things like that. Find a sweetener that you like and that agrees with you and use that. Fats and oils, olive oil, coconut oil, vegetable oils, all of these things, butter, margarine, you avoid those things on your protein sparing modified fasting days. Avoid your oils and full fat dairy products. You want to make sure that you are avoiding yogurts, cheeses, and milks. These are things to avoid when you are doing a protein sparing modified fasting diet. This is a very highly restrictive diet, and it limits a lot of your carbohydrates and your fats. Like I say, your total carbs should be kept below 10 daily. Your fat should be kept below 30 daily, and most certainly below 50. 30 is better. And then your protein, like I said, you want to eat 1 to 2 grams per pound of lean body mass that you have. So just figure out about what your lean body mass is and aim to eat your protein around in that area daily. So the protein sparing modified fasting diet is a diet that was designed by physicians to help their clients lose weight fast, and then also they supervise them. So the best way to do this diet is under the guidance of a healthcare professional or your coach or someone to that nature. It's very good for short-term weight loss. You may regain a little bit of weight in the long run because you have to have those refeed days. You must have those refeed days because while you're doing this diet, you're going to keep your calories in anywhere between, I would say, 500 to 800 or 900 calories per day while you're doing the protein sparing modified fasting day. That's where your calories should fall, anywhere between 500 to 800, 900 calories, somewhere in there. On your other days, your calories may fall anywhere close to 1,200 or somewhere around there. But go to Maria Emmerich. She has a macros calculator. Put in your information and you can get the numbers as far as what your macros will be when you're doing the protein sparing modified fast. But I hope I have given you some information that helps you understand what the protein sparing modified fasting diet is. And me, what I do and what I use is I do protein sparing modified fast for about 3 days of the week. I hope you can see this. Like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are my regular keto days. And on those days, I will do something like 18-hour fast, 16-hour fast, regular keto day, 2 meals. Or it could be OMAD or carnivore. Sunday is usually my refeed day because that's the day that I have company over or we having different events and things with the family. And so Sunday is a good day for my refeed day. On my refeed day, I eat more calories. On my refeed day, I eat more fat and more carbs. And that helps me get ready for my next week. So this is Keto Granny saying, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. That way you won't miss any of the videos that I share. And also share with others because there may be others that can use this information. I hope that you'll join me this month for my 100 days of healthy eating and healthy living with Keto Granny. This is going to be a challenge all the way till the end of the year with our final weigh-in being Christmas Day. And this is going to help us get healthier. We're going to learn how to eat. We're going to learn, we're going to get healthy together. I have additional weight that I want to lose on the ketogenic diet. To date, I have lost well over 127 pounds, close to 130 something pounds. I did gain some of the weight back, but I did manage to keep off like 110 pounds, and I am working toward losing the rest of my weight. So if you want to join me in this challenge, just sign up below. Just say, hey, I'm in. But as long as you sign up for the my videos, you won't miss anything that I release, and we can help one another get healthier. We can help one another just learn about the different diets, the different ways to eat, and different things that we can do to get healthier and live a better life. This is Keto Granny saying have a great evening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.